So first and foremost, sir, thank you very much for joining for this interview today. I like to extend my congratulations to you for receiving the National Teachers Award this year. I think on behalf of the entire student community, we would like to express our gratitude in terms of acknowledging this well-deserved honor for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So through these series of interviews that we're doing with experts of various fields and professors of various institutions, is to push across what is the kind of conversation that is happening within the education community, within the higher education, specifically the management education community, at the grassroots level, on the possible trends or the possible shifts that we are going to see in the education in the coming future. So in this understanding, my first question to you would be: you have been part of the academia and education section for more than 25 years now. You've been part of JIMS, you've been part of IIM Ahmedabad, now you're the professor at EDII. So why did you choose the path of academia? What motivated you to be in academia?
Okay, I think this is initially I had a bit of an experience in the corporate sector, and there I started working, teaching as a expert or somebody who can deliver a bit of a subjects in finance and accounts. But gradually I developed a bit of an interest, and again this is more of a feedback from the students and your group or the community, where you find that yes, you are contributing something. And then I started completely as a part of academic, and second, I think interacting with young students and understanding what is happening, and then sharing your thought that how the whole system, let's say economy or the business is operating, how all of us can contribute for the growth of this country. So maybe these are some of the parameters who may have influenced over this last 25 odd years, but may not be very specific. At time it was interesting for me, and gradually once I entered inside with the support and other, I think over a period I've become a complete full-fledged what is called as a faculty or a teacher. But what I believe myself is that beyond faculty and teacher, I've involved myself with a lot in terms of the startup community, understanding the startup ecosystem. I think 2015-16 onwards, with all the growth of the startup policies across India and very specific in state of Gujarat. So I started working a lot with this community and the group, and that gave me a lot of insight about how the whole industry is operating, how as a faculty we can contribute, how we can support to this whole endeavor that is taking place. And that gradually has helped me in terms of my learning, my growth, and also trying to support to the entrepreneurs or the startup community at large.
Got it, sir. So we see, as you mentioned, you have significant interest and you have shown significant interest in the entrepreneurship space. Right from you were part of the KL chairperson entrepreneurship at IIM. Now also you are the professor of entrepreneurship at EDII. What motivated you to concentrate your focus on entrepreneurship education? And how is this education helping students in becoming better entrepreneurs? How is education contributing towards
education? As a whole of the management education, see, my career, I started with the management education background, and subsequently I joined KL chair of entrepreneurship with Professor Anil Gupta at IIM. He was heading the chair, and I was working as a research fellow at IIM. So there we started working at the grassroots entrepreneurs. So my whole entrepreneurship journey, I can divide them into three basic levels at which we are currently working on the whole landscape. At the base, we have the whole of the livelihood-based entrepreneurship, where the people are sustainable or sustainability, or let's say for their own individual sustainability, they are working on the business proposition. In the middle, we have the whole bunch of small and medium enterprises, and if you analyze the India's MSMEs, the whole landscape, more than 90% are all the micro or the small segment. That's the type of business that we're into. And at the top, we have something which you call as a startup, which has grown over the last certain odd years. The differences are the requirement of technology, the requirement of managerial input varies in all these three different segments in terms of growing their respective business. But they all need support, all they need motivations at a point of time. So while I was working in a business school at that point of time, I got some exposure with the National Entrepreneurship Network. We trained in entrepreneurship teaching in various places, including Indian School of Business at Hyderabad and other places. I've done some of the programs there, and gradually I got a bit of an interest about the entrepreneurship as a trade. And then once I started working as the KL chair of entrepreneurship, got an exposure to understand about the incubation ecosystem, the innovation that is taking shape. And then subsequently, I joined EDII, started working on various academic programs, short-term programs. And then gradually I started getting involved into various long-term projects. So currently I'm working in terms of academics, and also in terms of what I call as the direct project intervention. I'm heading a project which I'm working with the government of Gujarat called Hastakala Setu project, which is for the last 3 years I'm working on this, and currently connected with more than 20,000 artisans across Gujarat. So where we are supporting those people that how, whatever the art or whatever the artwork they're doing, how they can create a livelihood out of that, and how we can support them in terms of branding, in terms of marketing, how we can give them an exposure to the international market, how their product can be more competitive. Similarly, I'm currently working with this SME segments, also in the micro and small business segment, how they can actually grow, diversify this thing. When I talk into the whole change in the landscape right now, one part, all of our students are interested getting a job in the market. I believe there is nothing wrong in that. They should certainly do. Most of this MBA education is primarily focused towards that the student, after passing from the particular program, need to be placed. And I think whole of our system is based on that. So there is nothing wrong. Let's continue with that. But then there are certain group of students who are interested setting their own business, or they may be from a family business background. As I told you, that chunk of our business across India is from the small and medium segment. Maybe there are percentage of large is very low, but majority of the small and medium. And the next generation need to be trained so that they can continue the business and can be more competitive in a global market at this point of time. So whichever the state we are referring, every state, every marketplace, we have the family business, which is the core of that particular thing. And every family business need to train their next generation in a manner so that they can continue the business process to the subsequent, will take to the next level. So that chunk of people need to be trained. So when I believe that the management education at large is actually looking for trained manpower, trained managers who can grow the business, we also need a whole chunk of effort in terms of creating a pool of resources so that they can manage their own business, or they can manage their own family business to the next level. And then over the last certain period, we are right now getting lot many students who are interested setting their startup or the tech-enabled businesses. They also need support. So in terms of EDI, our effort is just to concentrate on that group of people who are interested setting or diversifying their own business, and we try to communicate or discuss with them. But again, there is a whole chunk of management education which is taking, which is there across India, and they are supporting as per their mandate and as per their requirement. So I believe that the whole work that once we start working in the with the family business, that gives a lot many insight to me in terms of what are the challenges they are facing, what type of support or mentoring they require so that they can grow. And that help us motivated enough to continue this whole journey of last certain years into entrepreneurship.
Got it, sir. So I specifically like the part where you stated that, understanding that you have a family business, but how to run it makes a very big importance. And then we have seen it in the startup culture currently. We've seen it in MSMEs as well, wherein it becomes overwhelming for the person, for the leader, to kind of divert the kind of growth that they're looking forward to. So what advice do you have for people who are into the business space, who are running small scale businesses, or currently are at a crucial stage of their companies or of their business?
I think education is essential for them to understand the next set of goals. That is number one. In terms of education, they can certainly equip themselves in terms of being through various mode of education, maybe online, maybe participating in any offline programs, or whatever the way they feel that this is the way I can improve my skills and my understanding about the business and how to run my business. But the third part is very essential, what we call as a networking. So once you part of any of the structured academic program in any of the campuses, you get a third element. And that third element is, apart from education, the element is in terms of networking with the people, how we can interact with the people or your peer group or other friends. And third, you are getting something which is called as a mentoring. You wherever you are facing a challenge, you know that you can go back to the faculty, you know that somebody is an expert who is ready to help you. So those components, if you start combining or providing to the particular student or a participant or who is a startup, I think their growth can be enormous. They can understand how I can be more competitive at a point of time. Otherwise, I may be working on a particular area, I just have 3 to 4 experts, but I may not be knowing that who else are similar people are currently working. So I've seen this startup community, one of the problem is that they may be solving problem, but most of the startups are solving a similar problem. So I may be solving a problem back in, recently I was going through some of the startup award, was one of the startup award across India. So we are going through all agri-based startup because I was part of that community. So when I try to understand what the type of problem they're solving, when you look into all the startup who have presented their ideas, was already into 3 to 4 years into business, into agri-specific, agri-domain, the most of them are solving a similar problem. So somebody is into inputs or somebody is into output or providing a consultancy. So measure 2, 3 broad areas and they are solving the similar problem. But the challenge is that they may not be knowing that I am solving a problem in Bihar or somebody else is solving a problem in another part of India. Maybe third is solving in down south. But if you can combine them together, they can help each other in the learning. And that's the whole role of an academic setup, where we can bring the people maybe working in different or a similar problem in different areas, but they started exchanging their ideas. I think that learning out of each other, individual challenge, I think that is the biggest source of learning. And that's the reason I believe that education is very much essential for us, for the growth of, whether it's a startup example I've given, or whether it's a case of family business, whether the business challenges are almost similar, whether I'm working in any part of India. So where we start interacting with each other, helping each other with the support of experts as a faculty or a domain expert, that interaction helps a student to learn, and they can go back and experiment at the same learning back in the business and come back again and challenge the faculty. And with this process, the learning become more powerful.
Got it, sir. Sir, in your opinion, what are the 3 common personality traits that you observe in individuals that are pursuing the path of entrepreneurship that you consider is essential for success in this field?
Okay. People talk a lot about passion, commitment. So again, that is a very common thing that talked about. Second, I believe beyond passion and commitment, how divergent you are at a point of time. I discuss a lot about the divergent process that most of this entrepreneur that typically I work, they will not be doing the same thing for a long period of time. I have seen people doing X and then find a challenge, go to the Y, go to the Z or something. But when you start looking into a straight line thing that, yes, I'm growing in the similar manner for a long period of time, you become an entrepreneur, that chance or that probability becomes very low. So one of the behavior that I'm more interested in looking into that, how somebody is ready to experiment with various things at a point of time, completely from scratch, and then take it to at some level. Success and failure is a matrix that depends how you try to analyze the success or failure about that experiment. But the whole effort that, yes, let's try to do something and let's try to solve this particular one. And third, how somebody is looking into opportunities that is taking shape across the marketplace. What is happening right now in India? What is happening in my local area? What is happening in this particular place? And how we can solve it. We can see there is India is full of problem. I have a problem in my road. I cannot drive properly. The people are not following rules. So one point, all of us are there to blame the system, the society, the culture, what is happening. And then there is some set of people who try to solve that, how this whole problem can be solved by whatever the manner. And that whole process of coming out with a solution to solve a problem, I think that is the biggest requirement for somebody to start the whole journey of entrepreneurship. You could understand this is a problem. Second, how big is the problem? Whether the problem can be solved, and if the problem can be solved, whether the customer or the people are ready to pay a price. I think this is some of this understanding is required whenever I want to start a whole of this business activity.
Got it, sir. So we're looking at innovation and technology being an essential part of every field in the current business world.
Yeah.
How is EDII integrating innovation and technology into its entrepreneurship education curriculum to help the future entrepreneurs, chart a better pathway towards their career or towards their success.
Yeah. So entrepreneurship education as a core, if you try to understand, it is nothing much different from that of a management education, because the program that you are offering is postgraduate diploma in management by AICT. So the core is management. Yes, we need to understand what is marketing, finance, HR, international business, basics of principles of management. So all those courses remain intact as it is. There is nothing much different. It is all difference lies in terms of how you apply those concepts. As an example is that if there is a company which is a big enough, they are balance sheet, and the balance sheet of a company which is just going to initiate its journey, there is a bit of a difference. Logically, the process remains same, but the way we represent facts and figure for a company which is at the initial stage with a growth stage, that differ. So what type of insight that is required at an initial stage to understand balance sheet, at a subsequent stage of understanding balance sheet, that's something education is required part of the entrepreneurship. Similarly, if I'm a bigger company, I'm part of a marketing manager doing a market survey to understand how my chocolate is going to create a demand, what are the type of demand I can create for this particular brand. So the whole process will be different. But for a startup or an entrepreneur, new company, maybe a family business company, I may not have the whole money to go for a creating a brand. I may not have the whole money to create advertising. I may not have the whole amount of money or investment required to do a market survey. So in that case, how I am going to do it? So that is a whole difference in the application part of the concept for a setup companies and for a newer or a family enterprise. That is the application makes the difference, and that's the whole core of an entrepreneurship education. Second part, in terms of technology or the understanding industry, it is very essential for us to entrepreneurship education is all about, as I told about, is about identifying opportunities. What are the different opportunities are there? So at part of the course at EDI, we provide courses on industry verticals. So we took around 18 to 20 different industries, and in each industry, we are looking into what is the type of opportunity this industry is providing. Let's talk about fruit processing, or let's say food, agri and food processing business, or let's talk about sports, what is happening. Let's talk about entertainment, what is there. So every sector, we try to understand what are the broad landscape in terms of what are the government's policy in terms of supporting that particular sector, because that's a macro set of data. You need to understand that what are the government priorities. Let's say currently government is having a priority in terms of Gati Shakti thing. So what are the different sector which is going to be influenced by the government policy of Gati Shakti? And what are the opportunity that can emerge in my area? It can be in any of the state. So there is a central government policy, how the central government policy is going to affect the state government, and what are the different projects they may be thinking about. So those insight about the macro changes in terms of industry, macro changes in terms of sectors is essential to build the whole concept that what is an opportunity that can be created. And then we try to understand inside the industry segment, what are the different opportunities it can provide. So let's say there is a scheme by Government of India about PMFME, and they are providing support. So as a student of entrepreneur, you need to understand that what are the different policy setup the government is giving, what are the ideas that I can work. And then it is me as an individual who can work. So for me, there are three triangles. One is the macros, what is happening. Second, what is an opportunity? And third, you as the individual. And these three are connected together. You can certainly create a business. So we at EDI, in terms of providing technology understanding, that how you can build technology in terms of food processing, in terms of entertainment, in terms of sports, let's talk about manufacturing, how it is happening in terms of automation. So bring the technology, understand the technology, then try to identify a problem to solve what is taking shape as part of the macro trend. So if you can connect these dots, I think the chance of getting success is very high. And that is the whole focus at EDI. We gave lot many industry verticals to understand what are the technology and how we can work on those technologies.
Got it, sir. So you did mention the central government and the state governments and the various projects that they have in order to encourage entrepreneurship and the growth of entrepreneurship in India. And if we see India as a large is pushing across a very prominent promise for entrepreneurship growth, given its significance in terms of potential startup landscape that we have developed, or in terms of the finances that the government and the other bodies have made available. What, in your opinion, sir, is a gap between the kind of education that we are currently providing to these candidates of entrepreneurship and the skills that are required in order to thrive in a dynamic business world?
Perfect. I think both skill and knowledge, I think knowledge, skill, attitude, this the whole KSF framework is very essential to get this whole effort to making success. So across India, what happens that we are all focusing more about entrepreneurship. We are talking about an entrepreneurship, but all those entrepreneurship and startup policy is not that we'll start making our individuals to start and create a business. Entrepreneurship is a thought process. What we try to teach in entrepreneurship is that how you can be looking into solving a problem, can be more innovative, creative in terms of solving that particular problem. That problem solution may be converted into a business at a point of time. So every solution is very difficult to convert them into business. I may be coming with an idea, but converting idea to a business idea to a business is a journey. So since all of us take this understanding that yes, if you are going to teach entrepreneurship to 100 odd students, I think 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 are going to create a business. I think we should not relate in that particular manner. Entrepreneurship is a thought process. We need to discuss with all of our students to understand how all of us can think about solving problems, identifying opportunities, coming with a solution, experiment with solution. And if you're experimenting with ideas, maybe 9 ideas may not be that attractive, but at least one idea may be attractive enough for the people. I used to give an example of that. Thomas Alva Edison talked about electric bulb and the whole innovation. I says how many different innovation he had tried. If you go and understand that, what are the other things that he tried out, and out of this whole trial and error, at least one became successful and became such a powerful personality that he has contributed to the whole the electric bulb or the whole system. So if you can inculcate that particular thought process, entrepreneurship is not just directly as an end result is to create a business, but it's a thought process at every level, at the school level, at the college level, at every level. We need to talk to the students, motivate them to be more passionate about solving the problem of this country or the market, and with an innovative idea, what we called as a out of the box thinking or in the box thinking, or whatever the way we want to connect. But let's start experimenting with some ideas. I think that is the whole logic that we are more interested in. And that particular area, we need faculties to be trained on those areas, how they can help our students. And that combination of faculty and student can certainly give us very good result across India.
Got it, sir. So when we speak about management education, we have multiple opportunities that are available. Each institution is providing an MBA that they prove that they state is different from the rest, right?
Yeah.
What, according to you, are the 3 factors an MBA aspirant should consider while selecting a B school for their management education?
Management education, yeah, I think obviously institute ranking is a parameter which helps in terms of getting the best set of companies coming to you, and I think that is one part. But the second is about the network, in the sense what are the type of people who are thinking in the similar manner that I can get, and the type of faculty I am getting from a particular institution. I think this is the basic pillar at a point of time, because the faculty is going to deliver the subject, and that will help you in learning, and the peer that the group that I'm getting is something which is very essential for me to learn. So for me, about institute, the type of faculty members they have, and the type of support they are providing into the continuous learning of the students over a period of time, I think these 2-3 things are very essential. But beyond that, every individual has to put his effort or her effort in terms of understanding the concepts and looking into the ways that how we can apply the concept back inside any business. So if you are from a very good institute, maybe that will help you for the initial journey in any of the organization, but for subsequent journey and your personal growth, it is all about your commitment, your dedication, or your process of learning that will help you to grow bigger. So for the initial case, yes, the institute, the brand, the type of faculty, that is very essential for you to grow further.
Got it, sir. So we spoke a lot about management and entrepreneurship education and what are the various aspects that one should consider in order to gain success in this particular field. What, according to you, sir, is the meaning of success, be it personally or professionally?
Yeah, personal success, I won't comment, because again, that varies from this whole thing. But professionally, we need at least we are contributing. Again, that may be my philosophy, but again, it differs. Since you are asking me, I'm typically answering from my side. I find it very satisfying that yes, I'm contributing back for my country, for my community or the group. And what type of contribution I'm making, is essential in the sense, if we can help people to grow, if we all can help to at least help around 100 people to earn a livelihood out of them, or anyway, again, if I'm satisfying a customer requirement, you can come out with your metrics that is something I need to achieve over a period of time. And if I'm achieving, that's the way I'm success. To what extent that metrics can vary from person to person, but we need to have a target what we can do for this community or the whole group. I was asking the similar question to all the students at most of this discussion, that what percentage of India's population that we are, the people who are from management part of a B school, or the students pursuing or whatever. I used to ask that in terms of India's population, what percentage in terms of education, in terms of earning capabilities, in terms of your age at your side, what percentage of India's top 1%, top 5, top 10, which percentage you are all in terms of getting an opportunity to study at a master's level program at a very good place with a background in engineering or any of the field. So you have a very good understanding about technology, markets, and then doing a very good from a B school. Your parents must be having a good background, and your age is at your size. So what percentage of your population that you feel that you are at this point of time? And the answer will be less than 1%. If you go to analyze what percentage of my age, my income, my education, that as part of the whole India. So this 1% of the persons who are educated, who are got all those expertise at this point of time, if they are not going to solve the problem of this country, how you expect the rest 90 odd percent is going to come out and do something out of them? Because you have everything, you have knowledge, you have energy, you have youth, you have everything in your part. So I think that's a way all individuals need to understand that what I can contribute back to my country at this point of time. Maybe a bit more philosophical, maybe, but again, what I can do for my community, what I can do. This is a question I used to ask, that you are all staying in the societies or blocks or any places. How many times you have just asked yourself or your neighbors to segregate the degradable waste to the non-degradable waste, and then providing back to the municipality? So I think I can take about the problems across India, and individually all of us can contribute. It is not just about how much money that I can earn, how much growth I can get for my business, but again, for me, how much you are committed to the society, to the sustainability, so that my next generation can live the way I am currently living. It's not that I'm going to create this my place in a manner that with the next 1 or 2 generation they may not get enough air to breathe or enough space to work. So at least if you start thinking on that basis, I believe that's a way we can look into success. Because other monetary thing, I think all of us know that we need money for our growth, for the position. I think if you're hardworking, if you're passionate, you are certainly going to get it. Nobody is going to take it from you. But beyond that, what you can contribute, I think that is more about the success for me.
Got it, sir. So thank you for putting it out so beautifully. This brings us almost to the end of our interview. Before I ask you my last question, I would like to know if you have any question that you thought I should have asked you and you'd like to answer.
Uh, okay, I think these are. I believe that there's a very common thing that the people want to do a startup or want to start a business, whether they go through a structured program or not. I think everybody believes that, yes, I have a powerful idea, I should go and start doing. What is the whole logic of getting an education for it? And second, people also ask me that whether it is the education is essential, or I should go back and work in an industry and then come back and do it. So these are the 2-3 broad challenges people have at a point of time. So I need to answer these 2 questions, that if you are from working on an industry and the first 5 years of your journey, I believe that you are the best time for yourself to commit to entrepreneurship. You should think about entrepreneurship. You have already worked in an industry for 4 to 5 years, because you could understand what is happening inside the industry. You have the energy, you have the money, or let's say understanding about the money. You can certainly solve that problem. If you leave that, and if you lose that particular point, you will get another opportunity with the next 20 odd years. So when you will be around 40, 50 or odd that year, again, your things are settled, your family is settled. That's the next level people are going to start an entrepreneurial journey. So you need to decide whether you want to do it right now, or you want to do it 20 years back, 20 years down the line, and maybe around where age is 50, 55, want to do this entrepreneurial journey. Second, whether the education is essential, I believe a lot many startups, when they start doing, when at the initial stage, that's perfect. They are just solving a problem. They are interacting with 50, 100, 200, 500 odd people. At that level, I can easily manage. But beyond that, when I started growing, you need to understand how business process operate. When the company started growing, how I'm going to manage my team, how I'm going to manage my finance, how I'm going to manage the market. There, your understanding insight is very essential. You can always hire people to support you, but if you have the understanding and then you hire people who can give their expertise, that combination can take place. I think that's the way I believe education is very essential. And third part, when I face the challenge, is that how you try to create a team and manage the team. Most of the entrepreneurial journey, we face problem that initially we have 4 people, 3 people, 2 people, or 1 person started up, and then they have issues among themselves. They could not continue the journey, or there is a issue of trust issue between both all of them. So they are how you going to manage your team, how you can go to upgrade your skill set. I think for all those reasons, I believe education is very essential. So any startup need to connect, one part is to business thing, one part to upgrade himself. If you try to combine them together, I think the chance of getting success will be very high.
Got it, sir. So thank you for pushing this question ahead and answering it. I think this would solve a lot of problems, a lot of doubts among students who are currently wanting to pursue entrepreneurship and had the same dilemma of whether to start now, whether to start with after corporate experience, or whether to wait and start once you have the financial background for it, and so on. That brings me to my last question, sir. So can you explain what entrepreneurship is in less than 10 words? And I want to stress on the fact that you have to use only less than 10.
Okay, 10 words is simple. Entrepreneurship, I've already explained. Entrepreneurship is, for me, is a thought process. Entrepreneurship is a pure behavioral issue. We train people in the entrepreneurial processes, the entrepreneurial behavior. We are not training people to become entrepreneur tomorrow. What we try to train everybody that yes, it's an entrepreneurial behavior, which is problem solving, risk taking, understanding what is happening across, how what type of value I can create. If you have those understanding, yes, you can solve the market problem, and maybe at solution, people will accept your solution, they'll pay, and that's the way we can create a business over a period of time. So as the end result is a business creation, but that behavior is very essential. And for me, that behavior is simple, about problem solving, identifying opportunity, how effectively we can understand, create value. I think these are the 2-3 things which we try to do in entrepreneurship for me, which is a pure behavior that all of us should having at a point of time.
Got it, sir. So thanks a lot for joining for this interview for today and sharing these insights with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for giving an opportunity to interact, and thanks. Let's see how it takes it. And if it is some meaning to anyone, I'll certainly love to answer anybody's queries. That if I think the question that you asked, that what they should try out in the entrepreneurial journey, I believe all youth who got such a substantial amount of support over a period of time, it's time for us to go back to and give it back to our community and create a new business or new processes so that you can contribute to the growth of this country. And that's the way I look into entrepreneurship.
Got it, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.